Welcome back to the Range, Immokalee Range and Gun Club, and this video is for educational purposes only. Now, this was a video that was asked about quite a bit, and it was the comparison between the Canik Mete MC9 Prime, as you can see here, very pretty, versus the Smith & Wesson Performance Center. It's a tongue tie. This one is the Compact Carry Comp. As you can see, very nice as well. Both of these firearms are very nice. I must admit, they are both very nice shoots, but before we go any further, we are in a safe and controlled environment. We are at the gun range, Immokalee Range and Gun Club to be exact. They're both very nice shoots. The aggression in total, when it comes to the Smith & Wesson, is just a little bit more aggressive all the way around. When I say aggressive, I mean the serrations in the slide, the aggression on the grip. The serrations in this slide are so sharp to where my first review on this pistol, I actually cut my finger engaging that slide. But other than that, it does what it needs to do. I do enjoy weight a lot when it comes to firearms, and this one does weigh 26 ounces. You can see we do have a port in the barrel. We do have cuts in the slide as well. Pretty eye appealing, very, very pretty. You do have your pick space underneath. You do have a performance trigger on here as well, and you do have a ambidextrous slide drop for this, and it also looks like you can switch over your magazine release for left-handed shooters, which is great. Very nice pistol, looks good. Now this one here does have a 3.875-inch barrel, and it comes with two 15-round magazines. Two 15-round magazines. That is the Carry Comp by Smith & Wesson. Let's go in with the Canik. Now your Canik, also very nice. Serrations in the slides are not as aggressive, but they work just as fine. They're a nice happy medium as far as the aggression in the serrations in the slide. You do have your ports in the barrel. Now you do have 3 ports versus your 1 larger port on your Smith & Wesson. You do also have your accessory rail underneath. You do have a nice trigger on here, a flat face trigger. This is a gold plated trigger. The aggression in the grip is also very nice. What I can appreciate with the Canik is this very small flared mag well that we got going on here. This weighs 23 ounces with a unloaded magazine. So the weight that I gave you for the Smith is with an unloaded magazine, and this one is also with an unloaded magazine, 23 ounces. And the barrel length on here is 3.64 inches. So they do have just a little bit of differences between the two as far as the barrel lengths go, but I don't think it's going to be much to actually tell in the shoot. As I was telling you, with the Canik Mete, it does have a 3-ported barrel. As you can see here, and the Smith & Wesson does have 1 larger port. Now, do you feel like the style of ports makes a difference in the shoot? If you do, please let me know. Drop that in the comments. Let's talk about it. But if you look at the slide, how can I say? What's the word? It's not decoration. It's the configuration. The configuration of both slides are very similar. We do have quite a big window at the rear, right behind the front sight for the Canik, as well as, well, the Canik has more of a narrow window versus the M&P has more of a oblonged oval style, and your M&P has, you know, some little cuts on the right and left side of that, and then your Canik also has a small one up top and 2 on the sides. So I think this is going to be a great shoot. Whoever dropped that in the comments and told me that this is what they wanted to see, I think this is going to be really, really good. So what are we shooting? We are shooting Yoki Range Dynamics 124 grain 111, Jesus, 1150 feet per second. So with that being said, we know where we are, we know what we're doing, and the only thing left now to do is what? Find my ears so we can send these shots down range. So the last pistol we shot was the Prime. So we're going to go in with the Smith & Wesson now. That does have a fluorescent yellow sight, and this one has an orange. Take this for me because I'm going to shoot them both. All right, we are running the Holosun EPS on here. We have not put, or I haven't decided on what it is that I want to put on the Canik. I'm probably just going to do a mechanic red dot on that, and that is how she looks. And so we're going to feel them out, and then we're going to speed them up. She's a little jumpy. How does she look? I felt like she looked like she was recoiling quite a bit. All right, pistol is clear, magazine is empty. That was the M&P Comp Carry. Let's go in with the Canik Meta MC9 Prime is next. The weight difference off rip, I can tell. I know it's just ounces, but I can tell the difference in the weight off rip just by feeling that pistol. Prime. Felt like the Smith was a little snappier. Yeah, the Smith felt a little snappier than this. Although the weight is different, this got me thinking. Got me thinking. All right, let's get reloaded and do it again. Let's go back in with the Smith & Wesson Carry Comp. But this just feels more aggressive in the hand. This feels more tough than the Canik. That's a nice trigger. That's a nice trigger. See how short that reset is? That's a nice trigger. All right, so far one up on the Canik is 17 round magazines versus the 15 round magazines. Trigger on this Smith & Wesson Comp Carry feels very, very nice and smooth. Also feels like it can be a little bit more, I have a little bit more recoiling with the Smith & Wesson. We're going in with the Canik Prime again. This one feels a little bit more flimsy. It doesn't feel as tough as the Smith & Wesson. Could be the weight difference, but no, it's just a lighter pistol. Okay. Wow. Wow. All right, we've already come to the conclusion that the travel and the take up on the prime as the trigger travel is very long. Pistol is clear, magazine is empty. The reset on the Smith & Wesson feels a lot more responsive. More responsive than the prime. Wow. Something to think about. Let's go back in with the Smith & Wesson Comp Carry. I don't know what I was believing when I came out here initially. Because like I tell you, I try to come out here with a blank slate with both pistols as if I've never shot neither one of them and just get into it while we're shooting. But just watch the actual reset on this trigger. My finger's barely moving. Not spent, didn't chamber. Whoa. That's a first. My red dot went out. My red dot went out. And it has a solar panel. Wonder why. All right. This was the Smith & Wesson Carry Comp, chambered in 9mm. Let's get the prime. And let's have us a little conversation. Thank you very much. Yeah, the feel of both is night and day. Totally different. Saw the difference with my finger and the distance? Watch it. See that? This one's a lot more audible too. All right. So, pistol is clear and my magazines are empty. Yoke, what did you think? What did y'all think? What did y'all see? Drop that in the comments. I am interested to know. Now, I'm going to let you know off rip. I could not carry neither one of these two pistols. Both of them are just too big. But I can tell you what it is that I preferred out of these two pistols. The shoot on the Smith & Wesson Comp Carry felt like it was a little bit more, like I was experiencing a little bit more recoil with this firearm. But the trigger and the weight, the control for me on this pistol felt like it was way better than the prime. The prime is a much lighter pistol. It felt like the shoot was not as obnoxious as the Smith & Wesson, but it didn't feel as smooth, if that makes sense. It wasn't as, no, it just didn't feel fulfilling for me. It's not a bad pistol at all. Like I told you, I enjoyed it when I shot it for the very first time. But when I'm actually comparing it to something, and I also compared it to the L, I felt like it shot better than the L, but I wouldn't be able to carry this pistol because it's just, the configuration of it is just too big for me. But as far as these two goes, the Smith & Wesson Comp Carry and the Canik Method MC9 Prime, I feel like all around, although the recoil felt a little bit more obnoxious with the Smith & Wesson, this was a much better shoot for me. Everything about it, the grip, the texture, the angle, the shape of the grip when I'm holding it in the hand. The aggression on the grips on both are very, very aggressive. The aggression on the Smith & Wesson on the actual slide is much more aggressive than the Prime. So carrying wise, I can see where it could probably be a little bit more uncomfortable carrying the comp carry, meaning it rubbing up against the skin, or actually, just making it a little bit tender where the pistol actually rubs up against the body. Now this one here, the Canik Mete Prime, does have more of a sleeker, more finished serrations in the slide. So if it was to rub up against the body, I don't think it would be any issues. But overall, I felt like the Smith & Wesson Performance Center Comp Carry trumped the Canik Mete MC9 Prime as far as the shoot goes. Even the trigger. So what did y'all think? What did y'all think? What did y'all see? How did y'all feel? Let me know. Drop that in the comments. I am interested to know. So with that being said, Yoke Gang, April 27th, Miami Guns and Range, 2nd annual Yoke Gang meet and greet, food, fun, and giveaways. I hope to see you there. Y'all know I love it when things work. Oh, although we had one hiccup with the Smith & Wesson, I'll give it a pass. Y'all know I love it when things work, but I love y'all for life. Peace.